Hi, my name is Ron Obanoff. I'm going to talk about cancer patient advocacy, my experience, and I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the goals that I have as an advocate. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that I have done and continue to do, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the frustrations that I have as an advocate, and give you a little bit of an idea of what I have done in the last couple of years. First of all, I'm starting off with a photo. This is my dog, Glory, and I have the word effort up there. I like to think that everything I do, I put this type of effort into, and as an advocate, I definitely want to put this type of effort into it. First, going to start just for a minute or two here on what my story is. I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer at 52. Well, I went into my doctor like I was supposed to when I was 50 and asked for a physical and a colonoscopy, and he told me that I didn't need a colonoscopy until I was 55. Unfortunately, at 52, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. One of the projects I'm going to talk about later is how I'm addressing that issue of the doctors not really completely familiar with the rules on when you should get a colonoscopy. Okay, so I had treatment. The standard of care at the time was 5-FU and leucovorin for my first round of chemotherapy in 2003 when I was diagnosed. I was clean until January of 2005, and I had one lesion on my liver. I then had another round of surgery and chemo, and at that time a new drug had come out, so I had 5-FU, leucovorin, and oxaliplatin. And this was a 2-day treatment, and I went through 10 of those treatments. My oncologist is Dr. Jordan Berlin, and as of this March, I am now 3 years cancer-free. Okay, some of the goals that I have, and I put up here, how can I help? Because that's my attitude as an advocate. I want to be helpful as an advocate. The first goal that I have is to create a sense of urgency in the research community. And one of the ways we do that is to keep our face of cancer in front of the PIs or the investigators and the researchers. The sense of urgency is created because thousands of people every day are told they have cancer, and thousands of people every day die from cancer, and millions of people are affected every day, either as patients, advocates, survivors, or family and friends of those. Second goal that I have is to help with clinical trials. Clinical trials is the way that we improve the therapies that we have available for cancer treatment. And hopefully through clinical trials someday we'll come up with a cure for cancer. Third goal that I have is to help with communication. One, to the public, to help with prevention and the early detection of cancer. If your cancer is detected early enough, there's a high cure rate, and that's what we need to focus on until we find a cure for cancer. And then to communicate with cancer patients, of course, at the time of diagnosis, it's very important because it's a terrible time in a person's life once you're told that you have cancer. And we have to help those patients get connected as soon as possible, which is one of the things we're working on here tonight. And then to also communicate with cancer patients about clinical trials. Okay, some of the things that I've done and I continue to do, the first one I've got is advocate training and meetings. At Vanderbilt, they've got a wonderful group set up there. We have an advocate manager, and we go through training, which is very helpful in understanding the acronyms and the terminology used in the various research meetings. Second thing that I do is I work on the GI SPORE project. The SPORE project is a special project of research excellence, and this is a NCI funded project. And I work on Project 4, which is the Tennessee Colorectal Polyp Study. It's affectionately known as teacups. In this study, we're looking at biological, genetic, and lifestyle behavior that puts us in a situation where we're at risk for developing a colon polyp. And things like diet and exercise and weight and smoking and alcohol, these are all things that we're looking at. These are decisions that we make every day that affect the level of cancer risk that we have in our lives. And we are trying to help people make the right decisions on a daily basis. GI's 4 key personnel luncheons. This is an opportunity that I take as an advocate to meet with the various doctors and researchers and get my face again in front of the professionals in the field, asking questions, hopefully promoting a sense of urgency. And regularly, on a monthly basis, NCI has various bulletins on what's going on in the cancer field. Cancer Care is a website I visit. They have a number of seminars. C3, which is the Colorectal Cancer Coalition, has a newsletter, which is very informative. And then I set up a Google alert for colon cancer, so when things develop in the colon cancer area, it automatically flips up on my computer. I'm a member of the Internal Advisory Committee for the VUT project, which is the Vanderbilt University Tumor Microenvironment Network. It's a mouthful. I'm an advocate in this group. It is a collaboration between the prostate group, the breast group, and the bone group, and studying how cancer metastasizes. And that's why they're collaborating between the different groups. Lynn Matresian is the lead PI. She is with Vanderbilt. And purpose is to understand better how the tumor interacts with normal cells around it, which is called the tumor stroma. Very interesting. It's kind of hard to grasp some of the things we're talking about, but I'll catch on as we go. Middle Tennessee Survivorship Community Network, that's this particular group. Here we're trying to set up some communication that will be available to cancer patients and cancer survivors to help them get connected and survive and become part of a community to move forward in that direction. The Hereditary Colorectal Cancer Registry, I've volunteered my information, my pathology report, and my history to that registry to help them. Tennessee Cancer Control Plan, I've given my story. Hopefully that will help in their planning and their publications, and maybe it'll help someone when they read my story. Ivanhoe Medical News Service, I was involved in about a 90-second news clip that talked about a project that's ongoing at Vanderbilt that studies hopefully a possibility where they can do a blood test instead of a colonoscopy to detect colon cancer. This would be a very good thing, and I was involved in a news piece related to that development that has not been completed yet. They're working on it. We're hoping to have something in the next year or so.